Have you ever noticed how some people seem immune to the chaos around them? As if nothing, absolutely nothing, could shake their inner peace? They stay calm, even when the world seems to be falling apart. What's so special about them? The truth is, these people have discovered a powerful secret: the ability to act as if nothing affects them. This doesn't mean ignoring problems or living in denial, but rather controlling how you respond to situations. And believe me, this is a skill anyone can develop, and it gives you immense power. In this fast-paced world, where emotions are always on edge and we're constantly bombarded with criticism, challenges, and unexpected events, being able to control your reactions is the real superpower. While many let stress and impulsive reactions take over, those who manage to keep their composure have an unmatched advantage. Want to discover how to do this? Stick with me, because what's coming next could completely change the way you approach life. Imagine a tree being swayed by the wind of a storm. The leaves tremble, some branches may even break, but the trunk, the part that supports the entire structure, remains firm. This image is a perfect reflection of what it means to be resilient. Being powerful doesn't mean avoiding storms, but rather passing through them without losing your balance. Life will shake you from side to side, but the way you stand your ground is what makes you invincible. When difficulties arise, ask yourself, what is supporting your trunk? That's the foundation of your strength. To put this concept into practice, think about the tough situations you've already faced. You might remember when everything seemed to be falling apart around you, but somehow, something inside you held firm. It could have been a financial problem, a relationship in crisis, or a personal loss. Whatever the circumstance, your strength was there, even if you didn't notice it. And it's at that moment that you start to understand that being resilient is actually a choice. Choosing to be powerful instead of letting yourself be beaten down is the first step. Another crucial point is that storms are inevitable. You can't control them, but you can control how you react to them. Think of someone you admire who always seems steady, no matter the adversity. What do they do differently? Most likely, that person has prepared internally, growing deep roots that keep them grounded, even when everything around them is in chaos. And this preparation doesn't happen overnight. It's the result of daily decisions to strengthen oneself from within, like investing in self-knowledge, faith, or whatever strengthens you internally. Want to know how to be stronger in the next storm? Epictetus, the great Stoic philosopher, said we have 2 ears and 1 mouth for a reason: to listen more and speak less. And he was absolutely right. Often, in our eagerness to show what we know or to defend our point of view, we miss the opportunity to learn something new. That's where real power lies. Being powerful isn't about dominating every conversation, but knowing when to remain silent and absorb what's happening around you. Every word you hear, every experience someone else shares, is a chance to expand your knowledge. When you listen more and speak less, you open the door to a deeper understanding of others. Picture a situation where you're in a work meeting. The natural tendency might be to speak up to impress others, but the true leader is the one who listens closely to the ideas of others, synthesizes that information, and then contributes more strategically. This is a powerful and often undervalued skill. The next time you find yourself in a group, try listening with heightened attention and notice how it changes the dynamic. Listening also has the power to build stronger relationships. When someone feels truly heard, they connect with you on a deeper level. And that connection, in many cases, is more valuable than any persuasive argument you could make. A practical example? Next time you're talking with someone, test yourself by just listening without interrupting, without thinking about your response while they speak. What you'll notice is that by the end, you'll understand not only what was said, but also what wasn't. The emotions, feelings, and intentions behind the words. Another aspect is that speaking less helps us be more selective with the words we choose. Words have power. They can inspire or destroy, and when we are selective in what we say, we ensure that each word carries the impact we intend. Additionally, listening more protects us from jumping to conclusions. How often do we form judgments before we've even heard the whole story? When that happens, we deprive ourselves of the full truth. By practicing active listening, you become a fairer, more empathetic, and undoubtedly wiser person. Have you noticed how some of the most influential people speak far less than those around them? That's not by accident. Powerful people are often those who understand the importance of observing and absorbing. They know that silence is a strategic tool. Steve Jobs, for instance, was famous for his long pauses in important conversations. He understood that silence could be more powerful than poorly chosen words. How about starting to use this to your advantage? Moreover, listening more and talking less allows you to learn from others' mistakes. If you're always speaking, you miss the opportunity to understand the failures and successes of those around you. Learning through others' experiences is an efficient way to avoid pitfalls and accelerate your growth. A good listener absorbs life's lessons without having to make all the mistakes personally. This undeniably makes you a more strategic and powerful person in your actions. But it's not just about talking less. It's about speaking with quality when you do. A well-placed sentence can have a much greater impact than 1,000 words thrown into the wind. When you listen more, you learn to better gauge the right moment to speak, making your words much more valuable. In the end, this creates an image of someone who doesn't waste their time or others, someone with presence and impact. Now, ask yourself, how can you apply this in your daily life? Maybe in your next work meeting or your next tough conversation with a friend or partner, really try to listen. Practice this skill. You'll find that by speaking less, your voice carries more weight when you finally decide to express yourself. What comes next? Let's see how silence and listening shape the next step. Anxiety often stems from the fear of what could go wrong in the future. Epictetus, the Stoic philosopher, had a simple but profound strategy for dealing with this. Expect the worst. Now, this doesn't mean you should live with constant pessimism, but rather that you mentally prepare for the possibility that things might not go as planned. When you anticipate challenges, you're no longer blindsided by them. You become powerful because you're ready for whatever comes, and that readiness alone can reduce your fear and anxiety. The moment you expect the worst, it loses its grip over you. Consider this: if you have a big presentation at work and you're worried it might fail, imagine what would happen if it did. Would it be the end of the world? Probably not. The mental exercise of envisioning failure can actually calm your nerves. This doesn't mean you're inviting failure. You're simply taking away its power. Once you've accepted that failure is a possibility, you can focus on giving your best effort, knowing that even if things don't go perfectly, you'll be okay. That mindset is what makes you powerful. You're not paralyzed by fear. Epictetus would say that by expecting the worst, you free yourself from the illusion of control over the outcome. You don't control the future, only your reaction to it. The more you understand this, the more at peace you become. Think about it. How many times have you stressed over something that never actually happened? When you start expecting the worst, you stop wasting energy on things you can't change, and instead, you focus on what you can control. This is the essence of true power. One way to apply this mindset is to incorporate it into your daily routines. For example, before starting a new project or stepping into a challenging situation, ask yourself, what's the worst that could happen? Then prepare for that outcome mentally and emotionally. When you're ready for the worst, everything else feels more manageable. It's like going into battle with the right armor. You're not just hoping for the best, you're equipped for whatever comes your way. Moreover, expecting the worst teaches you resilience. Once you've faced the possibility of things falling apart, you realize that you can rebuild. Failure becomes a tool for growth, not a source of fear. For instance, entrepreneurs often face setbacks, but the most successful ones are those who have learned to expect failure as part of the journey. They don't fear it because they know it's temporary. They are powerful because they see failure as an opportunity to learn and come back stronger. And here's the beauty of expecting the worst. It often leads to a more positive outcome. By preparing for the worst, you remove the anxiety that comes with uncertainty. You can approach the situation with a calm, focused mind, and that clarity often leads to success. Paradoxically, expecting the worst can make you perform at your best. It's a psychological trick that puts you in control of your emotions and your mindset, even if you can't control the outcome. Think about it. How much time do you spend worrying about things that never happen? When you expect the worst, you stop wasting energy on unnecessary fears. Instead, you become proactive. You prepare solutions for potential problems rather than hoping they don't occur. This kind of strategic thinking is what separates those who are constantly stressed from those who remain calm under pressure. Of course, expecting the worst doesn't mean you should abandon hope or stop striving for the best. It's about balance. You still aim high, but you're mentally prepared for the possibility that things might not go as planned. When you master this mindset, you'll find that even if the worst does happen, you won't be caught off guard. You'll be ready, and that readiness is a powerful form of self-mastery. What comes next is learning how to embrace failure when it does arrive. Failure is often seen as something to avoid at all costs, but that mindset holds you back more than it protects you. To be powerful, you must shift your perspective and see failure not as an end, but as a stepping stone toward success. Failure is a necessary part of growth. It's where the most valuable lessons are learned. When you embrace failure, you're no longer afraid of it. Instead, you see it as a teacher. Every time you fail, you have a chance to reflect, adjust, and improve. Think about people like Thomas Edison or Steve Jobs. Both faced massive failures in their careers, but they didn't let those setbacks define them. Edison famously said, "I have not failed. I've just found 10,000 ways that won't work." That's the mindset of someone who embraces failure. He knew that each failure brought him one step closer to success. When you adopt this attitude, failure loses its sting, and you gain confidence knowing that every mistake is a chance to get better. The key is to not dwell on failure, but to analyze it. Ask yourself, what went wrong? And more importantly, what can I do differently next time? This reflection is crucial because it turns failure into a learning experience. For example, if you've ever tried to learn a new skill, whether it's playing an instrument or starting a business, you've probably stumbled along the way. But those stumbles are where you grow the most. Each misstep teaches you something valuable, and with each lesson, you become stronger. Embracing failure also builds resilience. Every time you fail and pick yourself back up, you prove to yourself that you're capable of overcoming challenges. This resilience is what makes you truly powerful. Life is full of setbacks, but those who embrace failure know that it's not the end of the road. It's just a detour. By embracing failure, you develop the mental toughness to keep going, no matter how hard things get. This mindset is what separates those who give up from those who achieve greatness. And here's the thing. The more you fail, the more comfortable you become with the process. You start to realize that failure isn't something to be feared, but something to be welcomed. It means you're pushing yourself outside of your comfort zone and striving for something greater. People who never fail are often those who never take risks. But those who embrace failure are the ones who are constantly growing, evolving, and moving toward their goals. In fact, failure often brings unexpected benefits. Some of the greatest innovations in history were the result of failures. Penicillin, for example, was discovered by accident during a failed experiment. The key is to stay open-minded and see failure as an opportunity for something new to emerge. When you approach failure with curiosity rather than fear, you unlock creative solutions that you might have missed if you were focused solely on avoiding mistakes. Another practical way to embrace failure is to celebrate your small wins along the way. Often, we're so focused on the end goal that we forget to appreciate the progress we've made, even through failures. Take a moment to recognize how far you've come and how each failure has contributed to your journey. This simple act of acknowledgement can shift your mindset and keep you motivated to keep going, even when things get tough. Finally, remember that failure is a universal experience. Everyone, no matter how successful they appear, has faced failure at some point. The difference is how they reacted to it. Did they let it stop them, or did they use it as fuel to keep going? When you embrace failure, you're not only learning from your own mistakes, but also positioning yourself to inspire others with your resilience. Failure becomes part of your story, a testament to your strength and perseverance. So, next time you face a setback, don't fear it. Embrace it. Use it as an opportunity to grow, to learn, and to become even more powerful. And as you do, you'll be ready to face the next challenge head-on. Speaking of challenges, the next one is wealth, and the dangers it can bring. Wealth is often seen as the ultimate goal in life, but it's important to understand that it comes with its own set of challenges. Epictetus warned about the dangers wealth brings, both from external pressures and internal conflicts. The more you accumulate, the more you have to protect, and this creates a cycle of stress and anxiety. Wealth can become a trap, where instead of bringing freedom, it binds you to responsibilities and worries. To be powerful, you must learn how to handle wealth without letting it control you. Externally, wealth attracts attention, not always the good kind. People may see your success and feel entitled to a part of it, or worse, they might envy you and seek to bring you down. These external forces can erode your peace of mind. That's why it's crucial to surround yourself with people who value you for who you are, not for what you have. True power comes from knowing that your worth isn't tied to material possessions, but to your character and values. Internally, wealth can distort your sense of priorities. The more you have, the more you want, and this endless pursuit can erode your values. It's easy to lose sight of what truly matters when you're focused on accumulating more. You start measuring success by numbers, forgetting the importance of relationships, purpose, and contentment. Wealth is not inherently bad, but when it becomes your primary focus, it can blind you to the things that bring true happiness. To stay grounded, regularly reflect on what's driving your pursuit of wealth. A practical way to manage this is to set clear boundaries for yourself when it comes to wealth. For example, you can decide that once you've reached a certain financial goal, you'll redirect your energy toward giving back or investing in relationships. This keeps you from falling into the trap of always wanting more. And if you're ever tempted to compare your wealth to others, remember that true success is measured by the impact you make, not the riches you accumulate. Wealth can also lead to complacency. When you achieve a certain level of financial success, it's easy to settle into a comfort zone, thinking you've made it. But this can be dangerous. If you're not careful, the comfort wealth brings can dull your ambition and stop you from pushing yourself to grow. True power comes from constantly challenging yourself, no matter how much wealth you have. It's about staying hungry for personal development and never letting wealth define your limits. In addition, wealth can distort your relationships. People may start to treat you differently because of your money, and it's hard to tell who's genuinely in your life for you and who's there for what you can offer. This is where discernment becomes crucial. Surround yourself with people who knew you before your wealth or who value you for qualities that have nothing to do with money. Protecting your inner circle from opportunists is just as important as protecting your financial assets. It's also important to remember that wealth brings responsibilities. The more you have, the more decisions you must make about how to manage it. Without careful planning, wealth can become a source of stress rather than freedom. One way to navigate this is by learning from others who have successfully managed wealth. Read biographies of people who maintained their values while accumulating wealth. Understand their strategies and apply what resonates with you. Another key aspect of managing wealth is recognizing when it's time to give back. Philanthropy is not just about writing checks. It's about using your resources to make a meaningful impact on the world. Whether you choose to support causes that are close to your heart or invest in future generations, giving back is a way to keep wealth from becoming a source of selfishness. It reminds you that your success is not just about you, but about how you can contribute to the greater good. Lastly, consider this. Wealth can disappear as quickly as it appears. The stock market crashes, businesses fail, economies shift. If your identity is wrapped up in your wealth, what happens when it's gone? This is why it's essential to build your life on a foundation of values that don't fluctuate with your bank account. Wealth is a tool, not a guarantee of happiness or success. The real power lies in your ability to adapt, survive, and thrive, no matter what your financial situation looks like. As you accumulate wealth, Remain mindful of these pitfalls. Wealth, when managed wisely, can bring opportunities and freedom. But if you're not careful, it can also bring challenges that are hard to overcome. Up next, let's talk about the importance of not attaching yourself to one single hope or dream. A lesson that can save you from devastation when things don't go as planned. It's natural to have hopes and dreams, but when you attach yourself to just one outcome, you set yourself up for disappointment. Life is unpredictable, and things don't always go as planned. Epictetus advises that instead of pinning all your hopes on one single dream, it's wiser to diversify your aspirations. When you rely on one goal to bring you happiness or fulfillment, you give that goal too much power. True strength comes from knowing that you have multiple paths to success. This mindset frees you from the devastation of a single plan failing. Imagine this. You spend years working toward one specific career goal, believing that achieving it will bring you ultimate happiness. But what if that goal is taken away due to circumstances beyond your control? If all your hope is tied to that one outcome, it could feel like your entire world is crumbling. By having multiple dreams and being open to various outcomes, you protect yourself from this emotional devastation. It's not about being pessimistic, but about being flexible and adaptable, which is a key element of power. A practical way to embrace this mindset is to start setting smaller, secondary goals alongside your main ambitions. For instance, if your dream is to start a business, have a backup plan that excites you as well. Maybe learning a new skill or exploring another industry. By having various goals to pursue, you create a safety net for your well-being. This approach keeps you motivated and resilient, even when life throws unexpected curveballs. When one door closes, another one is already in sight. By not attaching to one single hope, you also open yourself up to new opportunities. Often, people become so fixated on one path that they miss out on better options that come along the way. When you're flexible, you can recognize these opportunities and adjust your course. History is full of people who pivoted when their original plans didn't work out. Think of how many successful individuals started in one field but found greatness in another. Their ability to adapt made them powerful. Another key benefit of this mindset is that it reduces pressure. When you place all your hopes on one dream, the fear of failure can become overwhelming. You may find yourself paralyzed by the thought of it not working out. But when you know you have multiple paths to explore, that pressure eases. You can approach your goals with a sense of curiosity and excitement rather than fear. This mindset not only makes you more resilient, but also enhances your ability to enjoy the journey, rather than focusing solely on the outcome. By diversifying your dreams, you're also investing in your personal growth. Each new goal, whether big or small, teaches you something valuable. Maybe one dream helps you develop leadership skills, while another strengthens your creativity. These experiences make you a well-rounded individual, and in the long run, they can contribute to your overall success. After all, the more skills and knowledge you acquire, the more prepared you are to handle life's challenges. In addition, not attaching yourself to one hope cultivates a sense of gratitude for the present moment. When you're not obsessively focused on a single outcome, you can appreciate the progress you're making right now. You learn to value each step of the journey, recognizing that even setbacks offer important lessons. This shift in mindset helps you stay grounded, resilient, and ready for whatever comes next. You'll find that you're no longer waiting for happiness at the end of a long road. You're finding it in the steps you're taking every day. Being open to multiple outcomes also allows you to maintain your sense of purpose, even when things don't go as planned. Life is full of twists and turns, and sometimes the path you thought was right may not be the best one after all. But when you're flexible, you can adjust your course without losing sight of your larger purpose. This adaptability is what makes you powerful. It's not about never failing. It's about knowing that failure in one area doesn't mean failure in life. You always have other options. One final point. By not attaching yourself to one dream, you prevent burnout. When you're solely focused on one goal, it's easy to push yourself too hard, sacrificing your well-being in the process. But when you have multiple hopes and dreams, you can pace yourself, balancing your energy and avoiding exhaustion. This approach not only preserves your physical and mental health, but also ensures that you can keep pursuing your goals for the long term. So, as you move forward, remember to keep your hopes broad and varied. Stay flexible, stay open, and you'll find that life offers more opportunities than you could have imagined. Next, we'll dive into an even deeper topic: how remembering your mortality can bring clarity and purpose to your life. It may seem morbid, but contemplating death is one of the most powerful tools for living a meaningful life. Epictetus and many other Stoic philosophers believed that regularly reflecting on your mortality helps you prioritize what truly matters. When you remember that life is finite, the small stresses and anxieties of daily life begin to fade away. You become more focused on what's essential, the things that bring joy, purpose, and fulfillment. This isn't about living in fear, but about being powerful in the face of life's impermanence. Imagine how your daily decisions would change if you knew you had only a short time left. The truth is, none of us know how much time we have, and that reality should inspire us to make the most of each day. When you embrace this mindset, you stop wasting time on things that don't matter. The petty arguments, the endless pursuit of material things, the distractions, they all start to feel insignificant. Instead, you focus on creating lasting memories, nurturing meaningful relationships, and pursuing your deepest passions. One practical way to apply this principle is to regularly ask yourself, if today were my last day, how would I want to spend it? This simple question can radically shift your priorities. Suddenly, spending time with loved ones, pursuing personal growth, or making an impact becomes more important than chasing short-term gratification. This perspective not only gives your life more meaning, but also frees you from the pressures of trying to control everything. When you accept the reality of death, you stop fearing the uncertainties of life. Remembering death also has the power to humble you. No matter how much wealth, power, or status you accumulate, in the end, we all face the same fate. This understanding keeps your ego in check and reminds you that what truly matters is not how much you acquire, but how much you contribute to the world. The people who are remembered after they're gone are those who made a positive impact, not necessarily those who amassed the most wealth. This humility allows you to live a more grounded, purposeful life. Contemplating mortality can also bring a sense of urgency to your life. How many times have you put off something important, thinking you'll get to it later? When you remember that time is limited, procrastination becomes less appealing. You realize that there's no later guaranteed, only the present moment. This mindset encourages you to take action now, to pursue your dreams, to mend broken relationships, to tell people you love them. It's a powerful motivator that can push you to live fully in the present. In addition, the awareness of death encourages you to seek deeper meaning in your everyday activities. Rather than going through life on autopilot, you begin to approach each day with intention. Whether it's the work you do, the people you interact with, or the passions you pursue, everything takes on greater significance. This sense of purpose brings fulfillment and a deeper connection to life itself. It's about understanding that each moment is a gift, and when you live with that awareness, you unlock a level of gratitude that makes life truly rich. Remembering death also helps you let go of grudges and negative emotions. When you realize that life is short, holding on to anger or resentment seems like a waste of precious time. Instead, you begin to value peace and forgiveness, knowing that these emotions bring more joy and clarity to your life. This doesn't mean ignoring injustices or allowing yourself to be mistreated, but rather choosing to focus on what truly adds value to your life. Letting go of negativity is a powerful act of self-care. Another benefit of this mindset is that it allows you to live with fewer regrets. When you live each day as if it could be your last, you make choices that align with your true values. You're less likely to look back and wish you had done things differently because you're already living with intention. This reduces the emotional burden of regret, freeing you to live with more peace and contentment. Ultimately, remembering death empowers you to live more fully, knowing that each decision shapes the legacy you'll leave behind. Finally, thinking about death can bring a sense of freedom. When you stop fearing the inevitable, you're free to live without hesitation. You become bolder, more courageous, and more willing to take risks. After all, what's the worst that can happen? Death is already part of the equation. So why not live fearlessly? This fearlessness is what allows you to pursue your biggest dreams and passions without being held back by the fear of failure. Next, we'll explore what true wealth really is, and it has nothing to do with money. Many people spend their entire lives chasing wealth, believing that money and material possessions will bring them happiness. But Epictetus, along with other Stoic philosophers, understood that true wealth comes not from what you have, but from being content with what you already possess. Contentment is a powerful form of wealth because it frees you from the endless cycle of wanting more. When you're satisfied with what you have, you become rich in a way that no amount of money can provide. The more you accumulate, the more you realize that material things are temporary and often don't bring the lasting joy you expected. Think about it. How many times have you bought something new, only to find that the excitement fades after a short time? This is because external possessions can never truly fill internal desires. True wealth comes from being able to enjoy the simple things, a meaningful conversation, a walk in nature, time spent with loved ones. When you shift your focus to these experiences, you find that you already have everything you need to be happy. A practical way to cultivate contentment is through gratitude. Each day, take a moment to reflect on what you have, instead of what you lack. This small practice can have a profound impact on your mindset. Gratitude shifts your focus from scarcity to abundance, and when you operate from a place of abundance, you stop chasing after things that don't truly matter. You start to see that true wealth isn't measured by the size of your bank account, but by the quality of your life and relationships. Contentment doesn't mean settling for less or not striving for your goals. It's about recognizing that while you work toward your aspirations, you're already complete as you are. This is where real power lies, in knowing that your worth isn't dependent on external achievements or possessions. When you understand this, you approach life with a sense of peace and fulfillment, no longer feeling the need to prove your value through material success. This mindset not only brings happiness, but also frees you from the stress and anxiety that come with constantly chasing more. Another important aspect of contentment is understanding the difference between needs and wants. Our society often blurs the line between the two, convincing us that we need the latest gadgets, cars, or clothes to be happy. But when you strip away these desires and focus on what you truly need to live a fulfilling life, you realize that it's much simpler than you thought. Shelter, food, meaningful connections, and a sense of purpose. These are the things that bring lasting satisfaction. Everything else is just a bonus. One of the greatest advantages of cultivating contentment is that it allows you to live in the present moment. When you're always focused on what you don't have or what you want next, you're not fully enjoying what's right in front of you. Contentment brings you back to the present, helping you savor life's little pleasures. You stop worrying about the future or regretting the past, and instead, you find joy in the here and now. This mindset is truly liberating, and it's where true wealth resides. Contentment also shields you from envy and comparison. When you're satisfied with what you have, you're not concerned with what others possess. You no longer measure your success against someone else's achievements or wealth. This freedom from comparison brings immense peace. You stop feeling the need to keep up with others and instead focus on living a life that aligns with your values. In a world that constantly pushes us to want more, being content is an act of rebellion and a source of true power. At its core, contentment is about understanding that happiness comes from within. It's not something you can buy, earn, or achieve through external means. It's a state of mind that you cultivate by appreciating what you have and letting go of the need for more. This doesn't mean you should stop striving for personal growth or success, but rather that you recognize that these things won't complete you. You're already whole, and when you embrace that, you tap into a deep sense of inner peace and fulfillment. Lastly, contentment allows you to approach life with a sense of gratitude and abundance, rather than scarcity. You begin to see that you have enough resources, enough love, enough time. This mindset shift transforms the way you experience life, making every moment richer and more meaningful. True wealth isn't about accumulation. It's about appreciation.
And when you learn to appreciate what you have, you realize that you are wealthier than you ever imagined. So, as you reflect on what wealth truly means, remember that contentment is the ultimate form of riches.
It's not about having more. It's about wanting less and appreciating what you already have. Up next, we'll explore the value of humility and how staying humble is key to continuous growth and learning. Humility is often misunderstood as weakness, but in reality, it's one of the most powerful qualities a person can possess. When you stay humble, you open yourself up to continuous learning and growth.
The moment you think you know everything, you stop evolving.
Humility allows you to remain curious and open-minded, traits that are essential for long-term success. Being humble doesn't mean downplaying your achievements. It means recognizing that there's always more to learn and that other people can offer valuable perspectives. A powerful way to practice humility is to listen more than you speak, as we discussed earlier. When you listen, you acknowledge that you don't have all the answers, and that others may know things you don't. This attitude not only helps you learn, but also earns you respect from those around you. People appreciate humility because it's a sign of confidence, not insecurity. It shows that you're secure enough in yourself to admit when you don't know something and are willing to learn from others.
In practice, humility can be as simple as asking for feedback.
Whether in your personal or professional life, asking others for their insights shows that you value their opinions and are open to improving. It also keeps you grounded, reminding you that there's always room for growth. For example, if you're working on a project, don't assume that your way is the only or best way.
Seek input from others, and you might discover new, better approaches. This is the mark of someone who is truly powerful, someone who is always looking to improve.
Humility also helps you navigate challenges with grace. When things don't go as planned, a humble person doesn't blame others or make excuses. Instead, they reflect on what they could have done differently and use the experience as a learning opportunity. This mindset builds resilience and fosters continuous improvement.
Think of how much more powerful you become when you can admit your mistakes, learn from them, and move forward without letting your ego get in the way.
Another important aspect of humility is understanding that success is never achieved alone. No matter how skilled or talented you are, there are always people who help you along the way. Mentors, colleagues, friends, family. Staying humble means acknowledging these contributions and expressing gratitude.
When you recognize the role others play in your success, you strengthen your relationships and create an environment where others are more willing to support you in the future.
Humility is also a safeguard against arrogance. The moment you start believing that you're better than others, you set yourself up for failure. Arrogance blinds you to your own weaknesses and makes you less open to feedback and growth. On the other hand, humility keeps you grounded, reminding you that everyone has something valuable to offer. This mindset not only makes you a better leader, but also helps you build stronger, more collaborative teams. One of the most powerful examples of humility in action is the late Nelson Mandela. Despite his monumental achievements and global recognition, he remained humble throughout his life, always crediting others for their contributions to the fight for justice. Mandela understood that true leadership comes from serving others, not elevating oneself. His humility not only made him a beloved figure, but also allowed him to inspire millions.
This is the kind of power that comes from humility, the ability to uplift and empower those around you.
Humility also allows you to stay focused on the bigger picture. When you're humble, you're less concerned with proving yourself to others and more focused on achieving meaningful goals. This focus helps you avoid distractions and stay on course, even when faced with challenges. Humble people don't need constant validation or praise because they're secure in their purpose. This inner confidence is what makes humility such a powerful trait. It allows you to stay true to your values and goals, regardless of external circumstances. In addition, humility fosters a sense of gratitude and appreciation for life's journey. When you're humble, you recognize that success is not just about talent or hard work, but also about the opportunities and people that have come your way. This perspective keeps you grounded and appreciative of the present moment, rather than always striving for more.
It also helps you maintain a sense of balance, knowing that life is full of ups and downs, and that humility will help you navigate both with grace.
Finally, humility keeps you connected to others. When you're humble, you're more approachable, and people feel more comfortable sharing their ideas and insights with you. This openness to others' perspectives not only strengthens relationships, but also enhances your own learning and growth.
As we move forward, we'll explore the importance of surrounding yourself with winners, the kind of people who will inspire and uplift you on your journey. The company you keep has a profound impact on your mindset, your habits, and ultimately your success. Surrounding yourself with winners, people who are positive, motivated, and striving toward their own goals, elevates your own standards and pushes you to be better. It's often said that you become the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with, and this couldn't be more true. If you want to be powerful, you need to be around people who inspire you to grow, who challenge you to reach higher, and who support your ambitions.
Think about it. When you're surrounded by people who are constantly complaining, making excuses, or settling for less, it's easy to fall into the same patterns. But when you're with winners, their energy is contagious. You start to see new possibilities for yourself, and you're motivated to take action. Winners don't just talk about what they want. They make things happen. And when you're in that environment, you start doing the same.
You become powerful simply by association, as the drive and determination of those around you influence your own mindset.
One way to actively surround yourself with winners is to seek out mentors or role models who have achieved the kind of success you're aiming for. These people can provide invaluable guidance and insight, helping you avoid common pitfalls and stay focused on your goals. Mentors not only share their knowledge but also hold you accountable, ensuring that you don't settle for mediocrity. Whether it's in business, fitness, or personal development, having someone who's already walked the path can be a game changer. In addition to mentors, look for peers who share your drive and ambition. These are the people who will push you to stay on track, even when things get tough. They're the ones who celebrate your wins and encourage you through your losses. Surrounding yourself with peers who are winners creates a positive feedback loop, where you're constantly learning from each other and pushing each other to be better. This kind of support system is crucial for long-term success and growth. However, it's not just about finding people who are successful in a material sense. True winners are those who have a strong sense of character, integrity, and purpose. They're the people who stay true to their values, even when it's difficult. By surrounding yourself with individuals who prioritize ethics and personal growth, you ensure that your own success is built on a solid foundation. These are the kinds of winners who inspire not just through their achievements, but through the way they live their lives. It's also important to note that surrounding yourself with winners doesn't mean cutting people out of your life who aren't successful by traditional standards. It's about being intentional with your time and energy. You can still have meaningful relationships with friends and family who may not share your ambitions, but it's essential to balance that with spending time with those who do. The key is to protect your mental space by limiting your exposure to negativity and excuses. This way, you're constantly feeding your mind with positivity and possibility. Another powerful way to surround yourself with winners is to join communities or groups that align with your goals. Whether it's a mastermind group, a fitness class, or a professional network, being part of a community of like-minded individuals can accelerate your growth. These groups provide not only accountability but also inspiration and motivation. When you see others achieving their goals, it reminds you that success is possible for you too. You start to believe in your own potential on a deeper level. Winners also bring new opportunities into your life. When you're surrounded by people who are constantly striving for more, doors begin to open. They introduce you to new ideas, new connections, and new paths you might not have considered. These opportunities can be the catalyst for your next big move, whether it's a business venture, a personal transformation, or a new relationship. Being around winners expands your world and shows you what's possible beyond your current situation. Finally, surrounding yourself with winners keeps you motivated during tough times. Life is full of setbacks and challenges, but when you're in the company of people who have overcome their own struggles, you're reminded that perseverance pays off. Winners don't quit when things get hard. They find a way to keep going. Their resilience becomes your inspiration, and you realize that you, too, can push through adversity. This kind of support is invaluable when you're working toward long-term goals. So, take a moment to assess the people in your life. Are they lifting you up or holding you back? Make a conscious effort to spend more time with those who inspire you to be your best self. Next, we'll talk about controlling your reactions, an essential skill for navigating life's inevitable challenges. Life is full of situations that are beyond your control, but what you can always control is how you react to them. This is one of the most powerful lessons Epictetus and other Stoic philosophers taught. While you can't dictate what happens to you, you can decide how you respond.
In every challenge, in every adversity, the power lies in your ability to manage your emotions and reactions.
Being able to control your responses is a form of true power. It gives you the ability to navigate life's ups and downs with calmness and clarity. When something goes wrong, it's easy to fall into a reactive state. You might feel anger, frustration, or even despair. But when you take a step back and pause before reacting, you give yourself space to choose a more thoughtful response.
Think of it like a muscle. The more you practice controlling your reactions, the stronger you become.
Over time, you'll find that you're able to remain calm in situations that once triggered intense emotions. This calmness not only benefits your mental health, but also helps you make better decisions. One practical way to develop this skill is to use the power of the pause.
When faced with a difficult situation, before reacting, take a deep breath and ask yourself, is my reaction going to make this situation better or worse?
This brief moment of reflection can be enough to shift your mindset and prevent a knee-jerk response.
Whether it's in a heated argument, a stressful work situation, or an unexpected setback, pausing gives you the power to respond with intention rather than impulse.
Controlling your reactions also gives you an advantage in your relationships. When you can remain calm and composed in the face of conflict, you're able to communicate more effectively and prevent misunderstandings from escalating. Think about a time when someone reacted emotionally, and it made the situation worse. Now imagine if that person had remained calm. The outcome likely would have been much different. When you control your reactions, you become someone others can trust to handle challenges with grace. This doesn't mean suppressing your emotions or pretending everything is fine. It's about acknowledging your feelings without letting them dictate your actions. For example, if you feel anger rising, it's okay to recognize that emotion, but instead of lashing out, you can choose to respond calmly. By doing so, you maintain control over the situation and over yourself.
This kind of emotional intelligence is what sets powerful individuals apart. They don't let their emotions rule them, they rule their emotions.
It's important to understand that controlling your reactions doesn't mean avoiding confrontation or difficult conversations. It means approaching these situations with a level head and a clear mind.
When you're able to stay composed, you can express your thoughts and feelings in a way that is constructive rather than destructive.
This not only helps resolve conflicts more effectively, but also strengthens your relationships in the long run. People respect those who can handle tough situations without losing their cool. Another aspect of controlling your reactions is recognizing that most of the time, the things that upset us are temporary. When you react emotionally, it's often because you're caught up in the moment, forgetting that the situation is not permanent. By stepping back and controlling your response, you gain perspective. You start to see the bigger picture and realize that whatever is bothering you right now probably won't matter in the long run. This realization can help you let go of stress and focus on what truly matters. In addition, controlling your reactions makes you more adaptable. Life is unpredictable, and being able to stay calm in the face of change is a huge advantage. When you're not thrown off balance by unexpected events, you can adjust more quickly and effectively. This adaptability is a key trait of successful people. They don't waste time reacting to things they can't control. Instead, they focus on what they can do to move forward. This mindset not only makes you more resilient, but also helps you stay focused on your goals. Finally, controlling your reactions gives you a sense of inner peace. When you're not constantly reacting to external events, you can maintain a sense of calm and stability, no matter what's happening around you. This inner peace allows you to approach life with confidence, knowing that you have the power to handle whatever comes your way. As we move forward, we'll explore the importance of fulfilling your obligations without expecting praise or recognition. Another key to living a powerful and purposeful life. Imagine the sun rising every day, without fail, never asking for praise or recognition. It simply fulfills its role, bringing light and warmth to the world. This is a powerful metaphor for how we should approach our own obligations. Fulfilling your duties, whether personal or professional, without expecting applause or rewards, is a sign of true strength and integrity. When you do what needs to be done because it's the right thing to do, you cultivate a sense of purpose that transcends external validation. You become powerful not because others see you that way, but because you are living in alignment with your values. It's easy to get caught up in wanting recognition for your efforts. After all, who doesn't enjoy a pat on the back? But relying on external validation can lead to disappointment and frustration when the praise doesn't come. Instead, shift your focus inward. Ask yourself, am I doing this because it aligns with my principles or because I want approval? When your actions come from a place of integrity, you no longer need outside approval to feel fulfilled. You become self-sufficient, and that is where real power lies. One practical way to apply this mindset is to approach every task with the same level of dedication, regardless of whether anyone is watching. Think about athletes who train relentlessly, even when no one is there to cheer them on. Their success comes from their commitment to the process, not just the accolades. Similarly, when you fulfill your obligations with diligence and consistency, you build a reputation for being reliable and trustworthy. People begin to notice your quiet strength, and over time, you earn respect without having to seek it out. Fulfilling your obligations without expectation also leads to personal growth. When you're not constantly looking for validation, you can focus more on improving your skills and becoming better at what you do. This internal drive to excel makes you more resilient in the face of challenges. You're not easily discouraged by setbacks because your motivation comes from within, not from the approval of others. This is a mindset that fosters long-term success and fulfillment. In relationships, this principle is just as important. Whether in friendships, family dynamics, or romantic partnerships, fulfilling your obligations means showing up for the people in your life, even when it's not convenient or glamorous. It's about being there because you care, not because you want something in return. This kind of selfless commitment strengthens your connections with others and builds trust. When people know they can rely on you, they're more likely to reciprocate, creating a cycle of mutual support and respect. It's also important to recognize that fulfilling your obligations doesn't mean overextending yourself or saying yes to everything. It's about honoring your commitments with integrity, while also setting healthy boundaries. Knowing when to say no is just as important as following through on your yes. This balance ensures that you're able to give your best effort without burning out. True power comes from knowing your limits and managing your time and energy effectively. When you fulfill your obligations consistently, you also set a positive example for others. People are inspired by those who take responsibility without complaint or expectation of reward. This quiet leadership can have a ripple effect, motivating others to adopt the same approach. Over time, your actions create a culture of accountability and integrity, whether it's in the workplace, your community, or within your family. This kind of leadership doesn't require a title or recognition. It's built on the foundation of doing what's right, day in and day out. Another benefit of this mindset is that it helps you maintain focus on your long-term goals. When you're not distracted by the need for immediate praise, you can keep your eyes on the bigger picture. You understand that the small, everyday tasks you complete are all contributing to a larger purpose. This perspective helps you stay motivated, even when the work feels mundane or thankless. Every step forward brings you closer to your ultimate vision, and that sense of progress is what truly matters. Ultimately, fulfilling your obligations is about living with integrity. It's about knowing that you've done your best, regardless of whether anyone else notices. This internal satisfaction is far more rewarding than any external praise could ever be. You go to bed each night with the peace of mind that comes from knowing you've honored your commitments and stayed true to your values. And that peace, that sense of fulfillment, is the mark of someone who is truly powerful.
Next, we'll explore how to handle critics and those who try to bring you down. Because, as you continue to fulfill your obligations, there will always be people who try to undermine your efforts. No matter what you achieve or how you live your life, there will always be critics. Haters are an inevitable part of success, and if you let them get under your skin, they can derail your focus and motivation. The key to staying powerful is to ignore those who try to bring you down. Their negativity says more about them than it does about you. When you stop giving energy to the opinions of those who don't have your best interests at heart, you free yourself to focus on what truly matters: your goals, your growth, and your happiness. It's important to remember that not all criticism is valid. Some people criticize simply because they're unhappy with their own lives, and they project that negativity onto others. These individuals aren't offering constructive feedback. They're just trying to bring you down to their level. When you recognize this, it becomes easier to dismiss their words and continue moving forward. By ignoring haters, you protect your mental and emotional well-being, allowing yourself to stay focused on what truly matters. A practical way to deal with criticism is to ask yourself, is this person's opinion coming from a place of insight and experience, or from a place of envy or insecurity? If it's the latter, it's not worth your time or attention. Focus instead on the feedback that can help you grow, and let the rest slide off your back. This mindset keeps you in control of your own narrative, rather than letting others dictate how you feel about yourself or your accomplishments. Ignoring haters also teaches you resilience. When you stop letting other people's negativity affect you, you become stronger and more confident in your own path. This resilience allows you to keep pushing forward, even when others try to bring you down. Over time, you'll find that the more you focus on your goals and ignore the noise, the less power these critics have over you. You start to realize that their words can't touch you unless you let them. In the age of social media, dealing with haters has become an everyday reality for many. It's easy to get caught up in what people say online, but it's important to remember that most of these critics don't know you personally. They're making judgments based on a small piece of information, and their opinions are often uninformed or biased. By ignoring the haters, you keep your focus on what's real: your work, your progress, and your personal growth. Letting go of the need for approval from strangers is one of the most freeing things you can do. Another powerful strategy is to use criticism as fuel. Instead of letting it tear you down, turn it into motivation to keep going. When someone says you can't do something, prove them wrong by achieving your goals. This approach not only silences the haters but also gives you a sense of satisfaction knowing that you didn't let their negativity stop you. Remember, success is the best response to criticism. Ultimately, haters are not worth your time or energy. Your focus should always be on those who support and encourage you, not on those who try to tear you down. Surround yourself with people who lift you up and challenge you to be your best, and ignore the rest. The opinions of those who criticize without reason hold no weight in your life. The more you ignore them, the more powerful you become, because you're choosing to focus on what truly matters. Up next, we'll dive into the importance of simplicity over luxury and how freeing yourself from material desires can lead to a more fulfilling life. In a world that constantly pushes for more money, more possessions, more luxury, choosing simplicity is a radical act of freedom. Simplicity frees you from the pressure of always needing to have the best, the newest, or the most expensive things. It allows you to focus on what truly matters: experiences, relationships, and personal growth. When you live simply, you are powerful because you are no longer controlled by the pursuit of material wealth. You choose to value the things that money can't buy, and in doing so, you find true contentment. Living a simpler life doesn't mean living without comfort or pleasure. It means being intentional about what you bring into your life and not letting possessions define your happiness. Think about the joy that comes from decluttering your home or letting go of unnecessary commitments. When you strip away the excess, you make space for what's truly important. This simplicity creates a sense of peace and clarity that luxury can't offer. You realize that true wealth isn't about how much you own, but how much you appreciate what you have. One practical way to embrace simplicity is to focus on experiences over possessions.
Instead of spending money on the latest gadget or fashion trend, invest in experiences that bring joy and meaning to your life. Travel, spend time with loved ones, learn a new skill. These are the things that create lasting memories and enrich your life in ways material goods cannot. By choosing simplicity, you free yourself from the endless cycle of consumerism and find fulfillment in the moments that truly matter. Simplicity also brings a sense of freedom. When you're not weighed down by the desire for luxury or the burden of maintaining a lavish lifestyle, you have more time and energy to focus on your goals and passions. You're not constantly chasing the next big purchase or trying to keep up with others.
Instead, you're content with what you have and can direct your resources, both time and money, toward what truly enriches your life.
This kind of freedom is priceless. Choosing simplicity doesn't mean you can't enjoy nice things. It's about not letting those things define your worth or happiness. It's about knowing that your value comes from who you are, not what you own. When you adopt this mindset, you become more mindful of how you spend your resources. You stop wasting energy on things that don't bring lasting joy and start investing in what truly matters. This shift in focus brings a deep sense of satisfaction and peace. Ultimately, simplicity is about living with intention. It's about recognizing that more isn't always better and that true wealth comes from within. When you embrace simplicity, you free yourself from the pressures of society and create a life that's aligned with your values. Next, we'll explore the importance of mastering your emotions and how doing so gives you control over your life and decisions. One of the greatest forms of power you can possess is the ability to master your emotions. When you let others control your emotional responses, you give them power over your life. However, when you learn to manage your emotions, especially in difficult situations, you gain control over your reactions and, ultimately, your outcomes. This emotional mastery allows you to stay calm under pressure, make better decisions, and maintain your sense of peace, regardless of external circumstances. It's natural to feel emotions like anger, frustration, or sadness when things don't go as planned. But the key is not to let those emotions dictate your actions. When you allow yourself to be swept away by negative emotions, you often make impulsive decisions that you later regret. Emotional mastery is about pausing, reflecting, and choosing how to respond, rather than reacting automatically. This ability is a hallmark of powerful individuals who remain composed in the face of adversity. A practical way to start mastering your emotions is through mindfulness. By becoming more aware of how you feel in the moment, you can catch yourself before emotions take over. Take a deep breath, acknowledge the emotion, and then decide how to respond. This practice helps you create space between your feelings and your actions, allowing you to respond with intention rather than impulsiveness. The more you practice this, the more natural it becomes. Mastering your emotions doesn't mean suppressing them. It's about understanding them and using them as tools for growth. For example, if you feel anger, ask yourself why. What is the underlying issue? Once you identify the root of the emotion, you can address it in a productive way. This self-awareness is crucial for emotional mastery and helps you navigate life with greater clarity and confidence. When you master your emotions, you also become more resilient. Life will always throw challenges your way, but when you're able to manage your emotional responses, you're better equipped to handle whatever comes your way. You don't waste energy on emotional outbursts or dwelling on negativity. Instead, you focus on finding solutions and moving forward. This resilience is what sets powerful people apart. They don't let their emotions control them. They control their emotions. Next, we'll explore why true wealth is found in friendships rather than material fortune, and how investing in relationships brings lasting fulfillment. Now that you know the secrets to acting like nothing affects you, the question is, what will you do with this knowledge? Are you ready to let go of criticism, control your emotions, and focus on what truly matters? Only you have the power to transform your life. Apply these lessons and start acting differently from today onward. What can you change right now? What will you do differently the next time you face a challenge? Remember, the power is in your hands. The more you practice, the stronger you'll become. And this strength will attract incredible things into your life. from better relationships to growth opportunities you never imagined. Don't let this opportunity slip away.
Subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications to keep learning how to master your thoughts, your emotions, and ultimately your life.